Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Urfspace Live Saturday morning drawing show with me, your host, Chuck Whelan, and my perma guest, Amber Greenlee. She's a special
I'm
guest
very
star.
special.
Your special guest star in Greenlee. Okay, well, I just made it small for the beginning because I was just pointing out it's still my show, but really, we're sort of equal show, especially without Dale here. So.
Yeah, no, Dale's still mad at me because I accused him of mansplaining earlier this week, and then he like basically said wiener, and I'm taking my penis and going home, and then he's been avoiding me since.
Oh well, I spoke to him last night, and I don't think he's holding a grudge. Maybe he is. He's like,
I think he
if
is.
there's anything worse than J.K. Rowling, he's being like the male J.K. Rowling. So.
I don't think he's as bad as J.K. Rowling. No, I think he's just, I think he had his ego hurt a little. I think it was bruised a little, and it just needs some mending, and then he'll come back. I think that we're still friends and stuff, but he got called out on some mansplaining, and he didn't appreciate it.
Well, we're getting into the hot topics of the day. I'm just curious if there
are there
any men who are like complaining about trans men. I don't really hear that.
What? Why are you like suddenly going on like trans men? Like
I don't know. I don't know why suddenly on that subject. No, it's just because Dale was mansplaining, and I feel like J.K. Rowling was like womansplaining. Something. I don't know what she was doing.
I don't understand the connection. And
okay. So that was just a connection I must have made in my head before we got.
That is. No. He was literally explaining men and their mind to me, which is literally man explaining. It's literally explaining men to a woman. And so I called him out on that. I said, like, hey, you're mansplaining. And he's like, what? I'm going to take my penis and go home. Wiener. And
so you're saying that women already understand everything there is to know about men?
No, but I'm saying that when you've been in a relationship with someone for almost 15 years, it's very possible that you know that individual person better than someone living across the country that's never met that person. And that person living across the country, while they may share a gender with the person that you live with for 15 years, has never met that person that you live with for 15 years. And it's like, trying to explain their mentality, and it's like, you've never even met them. It's like, and it's like,
it's very, unfortunately, as humans, you sort of fill in the gaps with like projections.
Here he is.
From your own imagination.
Here he is.
The trick, kids, is to exercise your imagination, like play role-playing games, put yourselves in different situations, try and visualize yourself as a different person.
Yes. So are you still mad at me? That's the question of the hour.
Why don't we change the subject?
Yes, he
is. Dale's mad at everybody all the time, Amber. I think that's the point.
That is true. I am mad at
humanity. All the time. We only have him on here as a sort of exhibit. He's an exhibit of a fading, a forgotten time.
You're still mad at me. Okay.
Embrace your grudges. It keeps you warm at night.
To hate another person
and have to think about your character.
To drink poison and expect them to die. To like hold a grudge is to drink poison and expect the other person to die.
We all die.
Yes, but
no, Dale, no.
You're poisoning yourself.
No, we all live forever in eternity.
We all.
Did you not see Conan the Barbarian? At the end, she comes back. She said, "Well, when she jumps off the tower, she says, 'Do you want to live forever?' And whenever they do anything dangerous, she says, 'You want to live forever?' And then when she comes back at the end as a glittery angel, she says, 'Do you want to live forever?' So the idea being that you live forever by not worrying about living forever, because you do live forever. We're frozen in eternity. This bit of time, you know it's there. I mean, it's protected by the time police. You know, we're pretty fixed.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I will pay attention to that. If you can name the actress who said that in Conan.
Yeah, of course I know her
Yeah,
name.
yeah,
No, I know.
yeah.
Was
But
it
you
the
just making
first
me forget it.
Conan
By
or the
asking you
second
that question,
Conan?
you made me forget it.
Was it the first Conan or the second Conan?
The first one.
Gosh, that's tough because I know
I have a signed picture of her.
that doesn't help you.
I think my connection.
You know,
I don't really own any signed pictures except that one. Oh, I have the one that I currently mislaid it. That was signed by the little girl from Alien, who was a fan of my board game legitimacy. Just FYI, I've got to get that on my.
that was like her only movie that she ever made.
Yes, no. Now she's a high school teacher. Or no, not elementary school teacher. Sorry, elementary school teacher. She was, and her
Good for
husband was a
her.
policeman. They live like in a
Good.
small town. She's an elementary school teacher, and her husband's a policeman.
Yeah,
But
good
she
for
still
her
was
for
going
having a
around to like
normal life.
Alien Con and signing autographs at Alien Con.
You mean Sandal Bergman?
Sandal Bergman. All right, yeah, I know it. I know it.
Yeah, she was in Hell Comes to Frogtown. That was Conan. Was not her only movie.
Yeah, I really love.
No, we were talking about the girl in Alien for a second.
Yeah. We digressed onto Carrie Henn is her name.
Okay, just pointing out my connection seems to be spotty this morning.
Yeah, let me see. Am I on properly? We have the producer there. Hello, producer.
Hello, Charles.
Hello.
Now, he's supposed to be the ringmaster of this circus. He's been doing a good job of keeping us on track. Now, before I get into some drawing, on my drawing board here, I've got my nominating ballot to nominate someone for Outstanding Cartoonist of the Year.
You're nominating ballot.
We had this discussion yesterday.
Well, I guess as a member of the National Cartoonist Society, you know, they invite us to. We get to nominate someone. On the back here is lists all the previous winners. Hang on, I'm just going to do my video settings so it's not flipped. On the back here, I can nominate in order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it lists all the previous award winners. So this is all the tops, and people can only win it once. You're not allowed to nominate them again. So first winner is 1946 was Milton Caniff, followed by Al Capp, followed by Chick Young, followed by Alex Raymond, Amber's favorite. You like Alex Raymond, right?
I do.
I used to love those old Flash Gordon with Buster Crabbe. Like we would get those. They put them on in the holidays in the morning. Let's see: Roy Cray, Walt Kelly, Hank Ketchum, Mort Walker, Willard Mullin, Charles M. Schultz, Herbert Block, Hal Foster, Frank King. I mean, there was a lot of people to award in the early days there. Frank King, Chester, Ronald Searle. All right, he's one for the British. We like one of the only ones. Bill Malden, Dick Brown. Schultz got it again. Then they probably decided we have to. No, there's still a few people who've got it twice. Who's got it twice? Jeff McNelly.
Well, they broke their own rules there, didn't they?
Well, they may have changed the rules.
I think they've since changed the rules.
Yeah.
Who's Jeff McNelly?
He was a political cartoonist.
Okay, so 78 and 79, he was kicking ass.
Yeah.
Dick Brown won it twice. He's on there twice.
Yeah, Hagar the Horrible.
Yeah. Arnold Roth, 83. Lynn Johnson, 85. Brant Parker. I don't know Brant Parker in 84. There's quite a few I don't know. Charles Saxon.
Brad or Brant?
Brant.
Yeah, Brant Parker, I think, was BC.
Okay, so DC. Okay. What about Otto? Some of these early ones. Leonard Starr, Otto Soglo.
I don't know those names.
There was 65 and 66. I mean, 66 was a hot year. I mean, there was like 66 is the year of Star Trek Batman, and the Monkees all came out in '66.
And I'm sure that had great bearing on the selection of those cartoons.
I don't know. I mean, there was something going on in '66. I mean, people in Hollywood started taking acid, and it wasn't banned yet. That's what was going on?
Oh, people started taking acid in Hollywood a lot longer before that.
Okay, like, well, when? Okay, because like,
oh, you had Cary Grant taking acid in Hollywood, like in the 50s. And he actually went and spoke in front of Congress about how great it made him feel, and how it helped him come to terms with like his absentee father and stuff. And like he's talking in front of Congress about this stuff, like in the late 60s or so, when they were talking about possibly making it a pharmaceutical for psychological like pharmaceutical use. And they denied it at that level, during that time. But he like was speaking, for it, and talking about how it benefited him personally.
All right, and what about Otto Soglo though? Was he doing something similar? I wonder. Is that why we had not heard from him? Sam, producer, can you look up cartoonist Otto Otto Soglo, Soglow, or anyone, any listeners? Do we have any viewers?
What do you want to know about him? What do you want to know about him?
We have 5 viewers.
Who was he? What did he draw?
We've also haven't been paying attention to the chat. Bruce says good morning to us.
I did put that out.
Hi Bruce. Hi Bruce.
You guys have a bit of a thing where you talk for very long periods of time, and I can't really announce the chat because then I'd be interrupting you.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
So I when that happens, I just put the text chat.
Oh, Otto Soglo drew the Little King.
The Little King.
Yeah. This was he was
the little. I don't know what the Little King is.
He was the co-founder of the
Ambassador.
NCS.
Yeah, the Little King and the Ambassador is the only thing that is listed here.
Yeah, the Little King. I remember talking to Sergio about this strip. It was really well respected by other cartoonists. Very simple line work.
Simple line work.
Google it. I remember seeing it as a little kid, but I never was deeply into it. But I suspect that the older people of the NCS wanted him to get the award.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yes. So that was really like, yeah. It's a sort of, yeah. I mean, well, these are the people that are there, and they're out doing their drawing and coming. You've got to kind of play the game, I guess, and be in the club to get noticed, and do good work, but also be doing like amazing work. I mean, these people all deserve that. I mean, they're all. It's not like there's better people sitting around. I mean, if there was anybody that was like, oh, they're really good, they haven't got it. I mean, they'd get it pretty quick, I think.
Well, he deserved it, in my opinion, now that I know who it was. Now, is Hunt Emerson, has he won any of the awards?
Well, I don't have any of the awards. These are only the cartoonists of the year. I mean, I'll go on. There's, Mort Drucker.
Yeah, of course he
Lynn Johnson a couple times. I think Bill Watterson, Jim Davis, Gary Larson, Kathy, Gus White, Jim Borgman, Larson again, Trudeau, Sergio, Scott Adams, who, well, who knew? I don't think anyone, he was more normal back then.
My question is, do they have to be in the NCS to...
I don't think so. No, I mean, I can just know I'm nominating the most outstanding cartoonist. So the awards are open to anybody when they have them.
Okay, then
yeah.
I would suggest either Hunt Emerson or the couple that draws Ogloff.
Oh yeah.
What about the Wienersmiths who do Saturday morning breakfast cereal? That has wide reach.
I do like that strip a lot. I like SMBC. But I think Ogloff should get the nod before them, just in terms of how well it's done.
It is done very well, but I think that they will shy away from Ogloff because of the X-rated content.
Well, they shouldn't.
Well, here's the thing. It's a very open nomination. So, you have to get a lot of nominations from people, I think, before you get on the short list.
Well...
But, they might get on the short list. I don't think many people would disagree. If they're not, I mean, they might get it at some point. But also, okay, look, I mean, so the other thing is that, the people in the NCS have got to sort of know you. And they know you because you sort of go to the meetings and, do your work.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of networking.
Yeah.
You have to go to the meetings, you have to go to the draw-offs, you have to go to conventions, you have to go to panels, you have to sit on panels, you have to publish, you have to get those books out, you have to get on panels and get on committees and be very active in the comic community for you to be noticed as a comic artist in the community.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely an aspect of that. I expect some of these people, though, probably would write one without getting much involved, just because they were doing good work being published. Like I think some of them, like Bill Watterson and Gary Larson, they're sort of fairly reclusive. I mean, probably like no more than any normal person is. But when you're sort of that well known, then everyone's like, "Oh, they're totally reclusive."
Yeah, there's recognizing genius for genius sake. Like you said, Gary Larson and Bill Watterson, they were basically just pounding out amazing ideas one after another every day. And the occasional flop that they would have would just blend in because it was so rare that you wouldn't notice it. Dragon's Fey Library says hello there. Hi, Dragon's Fey Library. How are you doing? And so yeah, like it was recognizing genius, I think, in that case. It's an easy pick. But like during other years, who do you pick? Well, you pick who you know, and you pick the people that that you've been around and you've talked to, and you go, well, this person knows their stuff because I've talked to them, I've sat on panels with them. They publish.
Yeah. I know. I apologize. I know who I want to nominate. I want to nominate Ann Telnaeus.
She's 2016. She won it.
Damn it.
Yeah, no, yeah, she's there. I mean, okay, yeah. So I'll keep going through the list. So Sergio is 96. Scott Adams, Will Eisner, Patrick McDonnell, Jack
Yeah.
Davis, Jerry Scott, Matt Groening, Greg Evans, Pat Brady, Mike Lukovich, Bill Amend,
You know,
Al Jaffe.
You know, Rachel Dukes would be a good nomination, I think.
Yeah, that's someone.
Because
Yeah.
Rachel's been very, very active in her publishing and like her convention work. Oh yeah, this is Nightbot, by the way. Nightbot is me telling people to read my stuff and check out my Patreon and stuff like that. So you guys can, you know, it's just it's something I set up in my own channel. So going like, hey, read my stuff. You know, here's my socials.
Yes. Yeah, Amber's, yes. Well, I was going to say earlier on, Amber has her own show on...
Yeah.
This thing, my show, Amber has her own show on Tuesdays, Philo, and you have...
Wait. Right? I'm taking over the screen. I'm taking over the screen. Okay, so on Tuesday, I have Dirk Teedy is going to be my guest artist on Philo. He's an artist, writer, graphic novelist, filmmaker, musician, and teacher. He is an animator and a comic artist, and has been working on Paradigm Shift, and was a guest here on Urfspace Live. I want to say like last year or the year before. And he's going to be joining us for Philo on Tuesday. So join us on Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time live. And we shall do amazing things. And let me bring Dale back because we lost Dale for a second. He's been having a connection issue.
Yeah, well, we love Dirk Teedy. Dirk Teedy, he also has a track. He said he's a musician. He has a track on the Future Sounds of Urfspace album.
That's right. We should play it.
Eine kleine techno music, which
one is it?
One. He had some nice music that I wanted to use, but that he didn't actually. It wasn't actually something he'd written. So all the tracks on Future Sound of Urfspace are original.
Ein klein techno music. That's his. Okay.
Yes, that's his. Yeah. It's very silly, but I use that for a lot of my more silly cartoons.
Okay, let's play it. So this is his.
Okay, yeah.
And so, yeah. Nightbot, by the way, Dragon Fate Library, you said you wanted to set it up on your own stream. It's free, it's super easy, and you know, it took me like 10 minutes to set up. And so, yeah. Type exclamation lurk. I set that up too, because that's a little fun thing. See? That's just me, you know, with the lurking. Yes, so now you're lurking. Yes.
Now your giggling there reminded me that I was laughing very hard last night at Reno 911 Mission Miami or whatever it's called.
Oh, you were laughing last night at Mission Miami?
Yes, I found that there were bits of that I found very hilarious. Like especially the bit where they get around to somebody's house and there's an alligator in the pool. Then this man kind of climbs over the fence. He's a real Florida man. You can hardly understand what he's saying. It just made me laugh so much. And then he sort of gets in the pool and he's sort of slapping the alligator around the head. And finally the alligator sort of bites. I don't know. I just found that very funny. I just see that as that's my experience of living in this country. You meet a lot of people like that.
What? That you didn't know that alligators bite?
It's just like this sort of neighbour guy that comes over the fence and starts talking at you in some dialect that you can't quite understand.
Yeah.
I don't know. You maybe. I mean, I don't know. I was definitely finding it more funny than anybody else in the room, but I don't know what to say.
Maybe because it reminded you of something that would be on Benny Hill.
No, he was like just this dumb American guy. He was a Florida man.
Yes. But
I don't know who the comedian was. It was a comedian. I didn't recognize the comedian, so it was obviously some. They had some good people on there as well. Yeah.
Oh man, speaking of comedy, so last night I ran the booth for the first time at the Improv by myself. I screwed up a little.
Oh dear. What did you do?
I missed a music cue, and I brought up the lights too early on the first show. And so but my manager wasn't there, and I just been trained on the booth like on Sunday of like last week. So, it was me going like, well, I just got trained. Like I can do it. So I did my best, and I learned, and learning is half the battle, G.I. Joe.
All right. Well, all right. You won't do it again, and you didn't get the sack, so that's good.
I did not get the sack. No, and it wasn't terrible, and the comedians were actually pretty nice about it.
Well, it gave them something to make fun of.
Yes, it gives them something to go like now you can be the music now, and it's like, oh fuck. Oh gosh, yeah, I fucked up.
You got roasted. You got a bit roasted.
Yeah, but what are you gonna do? Like, it's a comedy club. Yeah.
Yes.
And so I let him know that it's like my first night. I'm trying to do it by myself, and I had a little bit of help from one of the other guys that also knows how to run the booth. He was kind of looking over my shoulder and helping me like do the projector, like bring up the projector and turn it off and stuff. But yeah, I missed the lights. And the problem with the music is that it's like you have to run, like I had to queue up the music for him. And I had the music muted on the computer, but I like the soundboard was up, and then I'm like, why isn't the music playing? Well, it was muted on the computer. Yeah. So it was my fault. Yeah. I learned my lesson. Always check to make sure it's not muted on the computer.
Yes. All right.
Yes.
That's well, one of those things, I guess.
Yes. But it's okay. I'll get better.
Well, they didn't fire you. That's the main thing.
No, they didn't fire me. But the regional manager came through, and he was not happy with our general manager. And like, I guess things, there's writers in the contracts of the for the comedians, right? Charlie was the only person in the room laughing. This is Tina, by the way, talking about
we know 9-1.
Yeah.
I was so funny. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so the writers sometimes, it says that like if the room fills X amount under, so like it fills a third or whatever, or it's under a certain amount or whatever, we still get paid X amount. And so on some of the lower room counts, they had to pay out to the comics, and it was paid out of petty cash. And so, like, I guess this had happened long enough that the petty cash like was several $1,000s, like several tens of thousands of dollars. And it, like it came down to the Improv is not paying for this. It's going to come out of your pocket. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, so he had to like pay it because it's like, yeah. Anyway, I don't know. There's shiznets going on at the Denver Improv.
Well, it's the Denver Improv. Okay, but you're there. You're in there. You're in the show business. You're treading the boards. Well,
yeah.
Are you doing any comedy yourself? Are you a stand-up comedian?
I've done stand-up comedy twice before.
Yes.
The first time I did stand-up comedy was 2001 through 2004, and I did it through like Los Angeles County, San Diego County, Riverside County, Orange County, and then I did road work like through Baker and as far as like Vegas and stuff like that,
Yeah.
where you'd travel like that far and you'd set gigs like that far, but I was still localized in Southern California, and I was poor, so I couldn't afford to go very far. And so
Yeah.
when I moved to Canada, I stopped doing that. And then I did it again when I moved back to California in 2010 through 2004. And that time I mostly hit LA hard, San Diego, and Orange County hard. And I like made it to the Comedy Store stage that time. And like I did a lot of like book shows where it wasn't just me showing up to like, you know, like an open call or an open mic or something like that. It was like my name was actually on the ticket, and so I did a little bit better. But again, I was poor. I couldn't afford to go very far, and I couldn't afford to do very much. And like I was doing like bringer shows and stuff. And when we moved to Denver, I just didn't jump into the scene here. And like now I'm working at the Improv, and it's like it's tickling my funny bone a little bit, but I haven't started writing jokes. Like some have been going through my head, but I haven't like written them down. It's so much work, stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is what Dale's working on.
We got some other comments here. We got some.
I figured out why everything was.
We've read all these comments so far.
Oh, we did.
Why?
Okay.
Why was it so pixely?
Okay, I'll see if I can actually cause it to happen.
No,
If
no.
I-
You don't have to do it. You don't have to do it. It looks fine.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to do it.
Well,
It looks fine.
I figured it out. It has to do with the actual size of the reflected screen on the
Okay.
laptop. So if I minimize the size of the screen when it shares, it shares a minimized image, which is more pixelated.
Okay. Well, yeah, like I said, you don't have to do it. It looks fine.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I prefer it not being minimized, because then we can see what you're working on.
It was just something that I figured out.
Yeah. See, you're techie. You can do it.
Yeah. I'm just not as fast a techie anymore because I just don't care.
Well, I don't know. I still care.
I don't care.
I was playing around a bit this week with Adobe Character Animator.
Oh, God.
And I made a puppet, but I'm trying to figure out how to make it sort of stream on the show here. That bit was suddenly got a bit beyond my level, but I got a basic sort of face talking puppet. But I could also use it for animating. I want to do, like coming up, I'm going to do a Kickstarter for Astro Kitty and Urfspace. And I think I'm going to have like at least a new EP to go with it. I don't know, but now I've mentioned it to some people. There may be more people interested in doing a song, so I'm going to do like a whole Astro Kitty album to go with it. I might wait till I've got the album together and then do them. I'll just have to see what's happening with that. I'm sort of going a bit slowly on it, but it'd be nice to do like an animated video, have the characters. I can't really do the voices though. I need someone else. I need voice.
We keep losing Dale. Dale keeps popping off.
Yeah, I have a bad connection this morning for some reason.
Yeah, it was very bad when I was talking to you on the phone yesterday too.
Yeah, that happens in this duplex. I think my internet connection is somehow related to my neighbors.
So whatever your neighbors are doing,
Well, it's just whatever the neighborhood's doing. I think we're all on Xfinity.
Oh yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
They're probably all tuning into this show.
Yes,
Ironically enough,
all my neighbors are watching the show.
They better be.
they should be.
Yeah.
All right.
There we go.
Oh wait, I did. Okay. Confusing myself a bit here.
TV Garfield's design is just slightly different than Comic Garfield's design.
Oh, you're drawing Garfield. Oh yeah.
I'm drawing TV Garfield. Like I said, slightly different.
Okay. Well, yeah. So talking of national cartoonists, we saw Jim Davis gave a little talk at the one in Kansas City.
Yeah, that seemed like it was like the place to be if you were a cartoonist that month.
Yes. And it was nice. I liked Kansas City. It was very rectangular. I thought, oh, it's like in all those comics when they draw those rectangular streets. It really was like that. Everything looked like it had been done with a ruler on a grid.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jim Davis gave a talk about Garfield, and he was good actually. He was a good talker, and he said, how Garfield's features that are relevant to his expression got bigger. So his mouth and his eyes got bigger, but his ears got smaller. And he said that people just want the same thing every week. Like Garfield, like the world's chaotic. When they read Garfield, they want like a Monday joke on Monday, a Tuesday joke on Tuesday, whatever it is. Every day of the week, he had a different joke. And that's what he does. And that's what people want. They want a lasagna joke on Friday. I thought that was interesting too. I mean, I'd always heard that he was quite sort of deliberate about it, in that he really wanted to do something that was what people liked.
I met some of his assistants before, and they said that they had templates for everything.
Yes.
That they had like these are his eye templates, these are his ear templates, these are his like hand templates, and that they basically like they had books and books and books of like different hand gestures, different like ears, different eyes, and everything like that. And they literally take tracing paper over the book and they trace the eyes. It's like, and they'd like put Garfield together and Odie together and stuff from templates, and it's like, I don't know. It's just like, wow, really? That's disappointing. You think they draw him, but now as an artist, older, like I get it. It's like, oh, okay, I get it now. Why draw what you can trace? But like when I was younger, I'm like, that's cheating.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, it's a sort of cheating. It's just sort of very formulaic. It's like, yeah, he's making, but I think a lot of those old school guys, they say it, because I heard the Walker brothers also talking about like their dad making the cartoon and the scritch scratch sound, and that's just how you make it. Like you're making, you're banging out your products every day, and you make it in a certain way, and you stick to your formula.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you do.
Dale, you keep falling off.
Yeah, I don't know. I may have to go do the whole unpluggy, repluggy thing for the wireless router.
Or you could go around and switch your neighbour's electricity off so that they're not sucking up all the internet.
Yes, all the precious internet.
The precious internet. So precious. So internet.
So fragile. one big space crash caused by Elon Musk, and there'll be no internet or space for 1,000 years.
Of course.
Because it causes a chain reaction, like that movie Gravity with Sandra Bullock. If it happens in reality, we'd be really screwed. Because once you've got that debris flying around up there, that you can't go up there anymore. And it's very full up there already. I mean, compared to like Earth, it's empty, but there's all these things buzzing around, and if there's a sort of chain reaction, and they all knock each other out, which is quite possible thing to happen, we wouldn't be able to go into space for 1,000 years.
I know, isn't that fun to think about? Like, thanks. He's such a responsible sort. Yeah, but we're edging on the point of on the edge of a bell ringing. So let's not dip down that road.
No, I was just purely from a sort of science fictional point of view.
Yeah. I know, but still, we're on the edge there.
Well, okay, I watched the movie like on Netflix. It was sort of police procedural. It was quite good, but at the beginning, it was like there were all these sort of big police trucks and lights, laser lights. They were shining around and all this. It was just regular police modern day. But I was like, oh, this is like Judge Dredd, and I was like, oh yeah, that's about right. Yeah, we're definitely well on the way to Judge Dredd. Damn, Judge Dredd is definitely coming true.
Yeah.
Every year something happens, and you're like, well, one more step. Judge Dredd was always 120 years in the future. That's part of the conceit of it. It's always 120 years away, but so far we're right on course.
Dale, I keep having to bring you back. Like you'll drop, and then I have to bring you back.
I'm realizing I probably should have used a ruler for this bit. Oh well.
Let's see.
My friend in England said he's watched the Judge Dredd movie 11 times. So I was like, okay, I can go watch it a few more times. I watched it a few times.
You've watched the Judge Dredd movie a few times?
But not 11. I haven't watched it 11 times.
Which Judge Dredd movie?
The more recent one. Although the old one's not so bad. There was a cut of it going around that I downloaded where they sort of like it's a sort of better cut. I think mostly it cuts out a lot of Rob Schneider and some stuff. I don't know. But the real cut will be when they just put the helmet back in. They just got to get rid of the separation of the helmet, and it'll be fine. Apparently, Stallone himself.
I think we lost Dale again.
Yeah, we keep losing Dale.
Stallone himself said that he would have been happy to not take the helmet off, but the studios insisted on it, and he couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, well, Stallone was also wearing blue contacts in that movie. So
that's interesting. Yes, because I guess that they were. Yeah, it was very faithful. I think generally. I mean, there's a few things they changed, like in that his brother was actually, he wasn't out in the cursed earth. He's on Titan, which is one of the good things because Judge Dredd goes in space as well. Which I always like with a space story. But they're Titan, and Titan they have to have your nose sort of surgically removed and replaced with this sort of mechanical thing. So if you ever escape from Titan, it's pretty obvious that you were on Titan because they have this sort of surgical nose kind of thing. So he's pretty ugly looking guy, Rico.
I think we lost Dale.
But of course, in the movie, they had him be Armand Assante. He's a very handsome guy.
Yeah, Dale's not coming through.
Did a good job. They had and Max von Sydow. I mean, they had good people in it. It was good, and it covered a lot of ground. They got the Angel gang in there. Mean Machine Angel. They did that great. For some reason, they had Hammerstein in there. Nobody quite knows why, but they've sort of retconned that now. But Hammerstein was great. I mean, he was from a story, The ABC Warriors, where they were originally created, to sort of the atomic bacterial chemical robots to clean up Mars. So the original ABC Warriors stuff, they were there. But there was a previous story called Robusters, where the robots went in and did all the dirty jobs that humans didn't want to do. That was a good series before, and then that's what some of them became the ABC Warriors, and then the ABC Warriors sort of end up and they become these sort of time warriors that sort of going through time, and they're on the very meta sort of level with Nemesis the Warlock and all this sort of stuff where they're they're sort of outside of time and space in a way, or like they're sort of they're on a more sort of meta cosmic level. So they were very cool. So it's cool they got the ABC Warrior in there. Hammerstein.
I don't know. I still like Judge Anderson. She was still my favorite because she still had hope for the world.
Yes.
She still believed in the people.
And that was
like Judge Dredd, he was all about the law and he's all about, keeping the law and stuff like that. But he gave up hope a long time ago, and he doesn't believe in the world anymore. And it's very obvious, that he just, he's just doing his job, but he doesn't like, I don't know. It's just like he doesn't care anymore, But it's with her, she thinks it's like this is a temporary period for us, and we're gonna get past this. So he just thinks that this is it.
Yeah, she had a more sort of human upbringing. He's like sort of comes out of a clone tank. I think so. He's sort of born around age 6, sort of thing, and I think more recently they've done.
I thought he was taken off the streets when he was a kid, and then no, he was born out of
there is that.
tank?
There are others there's for example there's Judge Giants, who was his father was in. Well, they had a story called where they were sort of like futuristic Harlem Globetrotters kind of thing. That was popular series, kind of like a future sports. And then they had his son then in the sort of Judge Dredd world, and his son had become a judge, and then he died, and then his son becomes judge. So Judge Giant, there's sort of different, goes through several generations, but they do take judges at around that age. That's the age they would take you as to become a judge, and then you join the Judge Academy, like the Jedi Academy. And they're not like Jedi's where they're babies or whatever, but they come in they come in pretty young. And
I was under the impression that that's where Dredd came from, but no, he came from a clone tank.
Yeah, no, he's a clone. Him and his brother Rico were clones of Judge Fargo, who was the person who set up the whole judge system.
Okay.
And he actually is encountered by Judge Dredd, and there's a story called Origins. And he, at least I can't remember all the details of it, but you do meet sort of Judge Fargo, who looks a bit like Fred Gwynn, I think. That's Carlos Esquerra. Sometimes he makes people look like movie celebrities quite a lot, actually, but in his own funny way. So yeah, Judge Fargo was he was like an all-American guy, football hero, all this sort of stuff. But America sort of really went downhill. Not in any until President Bad Bob Booth got in charge and created an atomic war. For which, so then the judges sort of took over, assumed command. Although Bob Booth, I think, actually created the judges, ironically.
I think I started reading it after all of that, or is that like a revelation you find out later?
It all comes along later. I mean, the first Judge Dredd, he's the tough cop of the future. He's a bit younger and leaner.
Yeah.
And that's sort of early days of Judge Dredd. The first sort of big story they have is the robot wars. The robots decide they're tired of having slaves. Their leader is this big giant robot called Call Me Kenneth. And that was an interesting story. Again, it wasn't like a sort of black and white.
Yeah.
Some of the robots are quite popular. So yeah, that was sort of thing, and then yes, we learned about the code stuff. So yes, a lot of it sort of come out, but yeah, Fargo, Dredd is a clone, yes, and I think so he comes out of the tank, I think, at around sort of age 6, which is sort of like the age where they would join the academy, and then him and Rico go through the academy together, and they're both sort of great judges, and they're very alike. People can't tell them. And then over the years, there are several other clones of Dredd now. There's younger clones. Like the first younger clone experiment didn't work out too well. It got corrupted by the Dark Judges.
The Dark Judges. There's like
Yes.
a whole judge lore I am like not privy to.
Well, Dark Judges is Judge Death and all that.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't read through the whole Judge Death storyline.
Some people don't like that because that's more like Judge Death is more sort of weird and uncanny. My friend who I said watched the movie 11 times. He prefers the more gritty street-like stories.
Yeah.
But you can do any sort of cop story. I mean, like I say, I like the space stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, Judge, he doesn't have to worry. Like if he goes to space, he will clean it up, but that's not really his job.
It's not really his job is to clean up in space.
No, I mean, sometimes he has to go on a mission in space, or you have to go do a tour in space.
Yeah.
Because they do have some duties out in space, but for the most part, his job is keeping the streets of Mega City 1 safe.
Yeah, who cares about space?
Yeah. Well, the space is sort of full of colonies, and they're human colonies, and there are aliens.
Yeah.
Aliens are generally not allowed much in Mega City 1, but there are some.
Is Dale still is he actually joining us? Is he here? No, he's not here. Yeah, he's having a really bad connection with us today.
There's a really good story. Well, this is some years ago, I guess, but with the muties. They do some good stuff with the muties. So the muties out in Cursed Earth, and there was a point where there was a more progressive judicial administration, and they started letting the muties into the city, but the citizens really didn't like the muties coming in the city, and that was a great storyline. Judge Dredd was trying to, he's a good guy. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, he's the law first, but he is lawful good, but he's lawful first and good second.
You're like, well, why was he just like blasting people?
Well, with the muties, I mean, yes, I don't know. The trouble, then you have problems with other judges and stuff like that. Part of Judge Dredd is like he's the exception. Right? He's like the super judge. He does it all right, but he's not human.
Yeah.
This is one of the sort of big ironies. So yeah, he's he's usually able to solve the problems in the moment well enough. The system. The system's a pretty terrible system, and the citizens. The worst part is the citizens. The citizens are always doing something terrible and stupid.
Yeah, that's a positive view of humanity.
It's not. They're not. The citizens are terrible.
And true.
If there's a good one, they usually quickly get crushed. And if there is a better world out there, then it got nuked when Judge Dredd sent all the East Meg missiles, nuclear missiles in the Apocalypse War. He sent them all into another dimension where everyone was living peacefully and happily. Then suddenly all the nuclear missiles appear, blast that world away. But Judge Dredd saved Mega City 1.
Of course he did.
That'll be. I want to see that movie and see how people react to that. But the thing
I
is,
don't
you
know.
can't really. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that like the Judge Dredd movie I want to see is I remember reading a story where the people tried to have like an uprising
Oh
and
yes.
it
Yeah.
was the
Okay.
judges like all trying to like put down the revolution, you
Well,
know,
yeah,
and
democracy. They're like the people. There are the democracy people. They're always still trying to get democracy going, but unfortunately, democracy doesn't work out.
well, but the thing was is like what I remember from the story is that like they crush the revolution, right? But meanwhile, there's like talks and stuff going on, and it's like they're the talks are like oh we won the revolution won we signed all these papers and stuff, but all these people like died and they didn't really like win anything
No,
because the papers like didn't actually win them anything.
no, they're pretty hopeless lot. The democracy,
No,
the
no,
democracy crowd.
Dale, we have like a dead screen on you again. Yeah, it doesn't want to show you, Dale. You might have to reboot. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a wise man, John Wagner, who writes it, and he whenever I've heard him talk about it, he's a bit like, oh, I'm just doing my job, sort of thing.
Yeah.
He's quite a sort of working class sort of guy, and I don't know. I mean, but yeah, he's been very wise, I think, and we all should take a lesson. But I think a difficult thing is such a satire on like USA, and it's quite anti-American. He's quite anti everything.
Oh yeah.
Um, John Wagner, but so I think that makes it very difficult to sell over here because in the end they're always like quite pro. Yeah. And it's outside. It wasn't made here, and it's quite sort of horrific idea, but.
Well, I mean, 2000 AD has always been hard to sell in the United States. Like all 2000 AD properties have been hard to sell. Dale, again, we can't see your screen. We can't see you. We can't see your camera.
Can you see me now?
I can see you, but you're pixely and your screen was dead for a second.
Yeah, hang on a minute. I'm having connection problems.
Yeah.
Maybe if I.
Oh.
Now, there's lots of good things with Judge Dredd pedigree, like Kingsman. My friend Heather was saying she liked Kingsman a lot. That's a good, those Mark Miller, and then, well, obviously things that Alan Moore did, Watchmen.
Well, okay, here's a 2000 AD property that would do awesome in the United States, and it's like, why has it never done well? Is Halo Jones.
Yes.
Right? Halo Jones, it's a fun space romp.
Yeah.
Right? And it's written by Alan Moore.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, why has that not done well?
There's a new edition out of it, which has been newly coloured, and it looks really nice. I don't have it. I should get it because
I have a black and white version of
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they took it. Yes, it was coloured. I forgot her name, but yeah, they had someone. She coloured.
Was it Vargas?
I don't know.
Because she always does a great job on Frank Miller's art.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, yes, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if it was her. I don't know if it. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yes, she did the Dark Knight.
And she did
Varley.
300.
Is it
Vargas.
Vargas.
I'm trying to come up with her name. Just a sec. She colored 300. 300. I have to search. Lynn Varley is her
Yeah.
name. Varley. I always think it's Vargas, but I always get that wrong.
Yeah.
No, Lynn Varley is like one of my favorite comic book colorists. She's amazing.
Yeah.
She adds so much depth to like black and white art that
Yeah.
would normally be like flat, and she makes sure that it's not lost, you know.
Yeah.
And I just appreciate that.
Yeah, she doesn't overdo it. It's not
Yeah.
too heavy hands. It's
Yeah.
yes.
I can see you, Dale. I just don't know if I can hear you.
Is Dale just pranking us?
It's possible. I wouldn't put him past it. Let's see. I'm trying to see how many characters I can shove in here before I have to start adding shading.
Who's the guy with the F and the exclamation point?
That is Freakazoid.
I do not know Freakazoid.
Yeah, me either. It's Freakazoid.
Okay. You guys don't know Freakazoid. This hurts me. Freakazoid was amazing. It existed in the 1990s. It predated Adult Swim. If it existed on Adult Swim, it would still be on TV today. Okay? Freakazoid was the love child between Bruce Timm and his designs and the writing team of the Animaniacs and Tiny Toon Adventures and Hysteria. All right, so you had that writing team of Animaniacs like Pinky and the Brain, you know, all of like those kinds of wackiness with the superhero designs by Bruce Timm, who was working on Batman the Animated Series and Batman Superman Adventures, right? So they smushed it together. They made this love child, and it is one of the few TV shows that was made without a pitch. They literally like put these people in a room and said, make a show, right? And so they had no
Big show. And
they had no idea where they were going. It's insane. They were only able to make, I think, 2 seasons, and it is the wackiest, most wild thing you could ever see. It's about Dexter Douglas, who gets sucked into the internet and becomes a superhero. And he absorbs all the information on the internet, and so he is a superhero now.
Okay, I'm starting to understand why you like it.
Yes, and you know, and he's a nerd computer ace, and so he gets sucked into the internet and he becomes a superhero. It has like celebrity guests, oh gosh, I gotta find his name. I gotta find his name. Ricardo Montalban plays his nemesis. Okay, plays his nemesis, and like at one point, Ricardo Montalban shows up again, and he's like all super powered and stuff. And Freakazoid's like, "Wow, you got abs! You've been working out, right?" It's like It's so silly. There's a point where they're interrogating a cat to try and find out the password that the cat typed into the keyboard to get sucked into the internet. And it's like, so they bring in a cat psychiatrist to interview the cat, and the cat psychiatrist is like, meow, 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 meow. And the cat goes, meow. And he goes, he's very depressed. It's like, so they're, it is a wacky show. And I loved it, and no one remembers it. And and it was amazing. And you should find it and watch it, and you will be like, this is insane. I can't believe that this show existed in reality and people actually like watch this. And the thing
Did this inspire you, this show? Like your nickname Glitch, like where you got Art Glitch as your handle now, but like you were Glitch, like sounded like you were sucked into. Sometimes I think you were sucked into the internet.
No, I was glitched long before the show. No, I was glitched years before the show, because that goes back to BBS Sports, that name.
Okay.
And so yeah, that's an old handle. This was just a silly show that I just really enjoyed. If you ever watch This Old House, Norm Abrams, or not This Old House, but New Yankee Workshop, Norm Abrams, who did New Yankee Workshop, he is a guest on an episode of Freakazoid, and it's like just randomly, like he's a guest. They do an episode where there's like a 10-minute dance number for the Lobe, where there's a song and dance number, like, and it's literally 10 minutes. It's a 30-minute show, okay, like, which means it's literally like 22 minutes for 8 minutes of commercials, okay, and they dedicated 10 minutes to a song and dance number about the Lobe going out to dinner. Right, and it's amazing. It's an amazing show. It's so non sequitur, it's, you guys, like you talk about obscure British comedies all the time. I can talk about my obscure Saturday morning TV show.
Obscure British comedies, they're obscure because we're in America.
Yes, but
other places people have heard of them. But has anyone ever heard of this show?
It won an Emmy for its theme song.
Okay.
And so it's not like, no one heard of it. And it's one of those shows where all of the writers ended up going on to like bigger and better things in television. So it's one of those shows that just had like an amazing group of people. And like the voice actors like had an amazing voice cast. Paul Dini was one of the writers on the show. He did an episode called The Nerderator, which is like a predator for nerds. And it's like I can't describe to you just how amazing it is. You just have to watch it. It's so funny. Right there, he runs shoo, 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 really fast down the road, like after his villains and stuff, right? So the executive heads realize he like shoo, 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 like he makes that sound, right? And so like, I'm serious, he makes that sound with his mouth, okay, and so the executive heads of the show realize this is an opportunity for a marketing opportunity. So they make the Freakmobile. And so as he's running down the road chasing criminals, they like come up in their limo and they're like, you have to get in the Freakmobile so we can sell Freakmobiles. And this is an opportunity for you to do that because you're chasing criminals on the episode. And he's like, but I'm chasing them right now. Like, do I have to jump in it right now? And they're like, yeah, right now. And so like they're having a conversation about marketing while he's like chasing criminals down the road, like chasing them. And he can literally run at the speed of lightning. So it's like, why does he need a Freakmobile? And so he has a freakazoid inside Dexter's mind. Yeah, it's like, yeah, he has a freakalair. He has a running gag of sidekicks which get killed or leave him for various reasons, and so he has this hall of the lost sidekicks that, and like one of which was Foamy the Freakadog, which was like a stray dog that had rabies that he decided was going to be his sidekick. Yeah. It's good. It's good stuff.
Well, you sold me.
I don't know if Dale's still with us. I see him moving in the thing. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I've been
Yay!
listening the whole time.
Well,
I remember. I never watched Freakazoid, but I remember when it was on.
see,
And
Dale remembers.
I remember it, but it wasn't. I didn't care necessarily for the design. I never got into the Animaniacs, and I wasn't into Pinky and the Brain. I would watch some of Dexter's Laboratory. I was a big fan of the Powerpuff Girls.
Mm-hmm.
But I was really pretty much more a fan of SpongeBob. I thought SpongeBob was amazing.
SpongeBob is amazing. I think that if you gave Pinky and the Brain and Animaniacs another chance, the writing would win you over. Because the writing in Animaniacs is much smarter than it had any right to be. It's, I mean, they reference the Marx Brothers in Animaniacs. It's like, really, the Marx Brothers? like, does anyone remember the Marx Brothers? Animaniacs remembers.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's one of the problems is the show was designed. It was designed. It was written for the writers and not necessarily kids. I think SpongeBob holds up better because it was more kid oriented.
I don't think so, because the thing is a good joke is still a good joke, even if it's an antique. And I think that what the Animaniacs did is it reintroduced these old gags to a new audience by referencing things like the Marx Brothers and Abbott and Costello and Laurel and Hardy and all of, like they even did Buster Keaton and Charlie Chaplin references and stuff like that. And again, I think it's kind of it's an homage to the yesteryear of Hollywood and stuff, and that's for the writers too. But it's also saying like to a young audience, like look how good this shit is, right? Here it's like it's an ability to be able to take this old joke off the shelf and use it and not like take credit for it, but still introduce it to a new audience. You're not taking credit for it because you're putting it in a cartoon, right? It's like they did the Fredonia storyline from Duck Soup with Anne Valania, okay, in Animaniacs, okay? And so instead of like Fredonia, it was Anvilania, where they had anvils, and then they did songs of like Make the Anvils Sing. But they did the entire original story of like the guy trying to usurp the land, and then Margaret Dumont's character, funding the government and basically saying put him in charge because I funded the government, so you have to listen to me. And they did the entire storyline of Duck Soup in an episode, right? Well, that's not stealing Duck Soup. It's just like making a cartoon homage to it for kids, right? It is for kids. It's just making a cartoon version of Duck Soup for kids. you know, and then when the kid gets older like me, and then you watch Duck Soup, you go, oh, this is what the Animaniacs was referencing. Oh, this is hilarious. Oh, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah.
That's what happened. That's what happened to me.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, there we go.
Yes, I do think the one good thing about, like, you know, remakes and homages is that it can get, like, younger generations to appreciate the stuff from the past. And, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
I've definitely talked about how I think it's stupid that, like, a huge portion of Hollywood these days is just remakes, reboots.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they're doing the opposite. They're making, like, people see these crappy remakes and they're like, the hell is this?
Yeah.
But then maybe they go watch the original and they're like, wait, this is really good. So maybe it still works.
Yeah. Yeah, people go to see the original again. You know, they get more sales that way. That's just how you make money. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
Everything. I mean, the old days, everything was ephemeral. I mean, you know, it's like the early days of TV, and they would just delete everything. So you think, oh well, who wants to see this again? Because you know, the idea of having it saved in one version, but only some things hold up over time. But it changes over time what people are interested in and what does hold up. You know. But in the end, everything's forgotten.
Well, I mean, that's the, what is that old poem about the statue in the desert?
Yes. Ozymandias.
Yeah. Look upon my works in despair.
Yeah.
Well, you've got to for real longevity. You've got to be better than Shakespeare. That's the problem. And you know, to be better than Shakespeare, first of all, you have to be able to understand Shakespeare. And the more you understand it, the more you're like, oh wait, it's going to be really hard to beat this.
Percy Shelley. Okay, Ozymandias. I met a traveler from an antique land who said, 2 vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them on the sand, half sunk, a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lips a sneer of cold command. Tell that its sculptor well those passions read, which yet survive, stamped on those lifeless things, the hand that mocked them and the heart that fed. And on the pedestal these words appear, my name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty in despair. Nothing beside remains, round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare, the lone and level sands stretch far away. So yeah, so you're right. Everything's going to be forgotten eventually.
Yes. Like, well, I learned that from Dominion Tank Police anime, where they had a tank rolling over all this art and saying, in the end, all art is destined to become trash. But don't tell that to the art collectors out there.
Isn't everything destined to become
Yes.
trash?
Or poop.
Yes. Well, then South Park,
poop.
South
Yeah.
Park did the Circle of Poop, like instead of Lion King, the Circle of Life. They had Mr. Hanky doing the Circle of Poop.
Okay, so
that'd be an interesting, like, trifecta. Some people, you know, their philosophy, oh, it's all trash. Other people, oh, it's all poop. And then Robert California, oh, it's all sex. And then I feel like you can make, you know, an interesting, like, what would be a book title? It's all trash, poop, and sex.
Autobiography of Donald Trump, Trash, Poop, and Sex.
nope. Hey, you have to ring the bell.
Yeah, ring the bell, ring the bell.
Ring it.
Ding,
Ding, ding.
That means I have to donate $1 to the Democrats.
Wait, no, you insulted Donald
No, every
Trump.
time you mention it, you have to donate $1.
Knock it off. Knock it off.
Donate $1 to a close race.
If anything, you should be donating $1 to...
Donating $1 to me.
No, donate $1, like, put $1 in the make the show better.
$1 a day makes Trump go away.
How about...
No, stop saying his name.
Knock it off, guys.
He who must not be named.
All right, I'll send them a check. A check is in the post.
Oh, language.
So if you can wait till a week on Thursday, I'm expecting a postal order from my aunt in Scotland.
When are we going to talk about hats?
Is this a new hat?
No, this is my. Chuck and I had a discussion yesterday about hats.
So I think hats are coming back in a big way. I think like hats have been out, like, you know, there's been many periods in human history where everyone's gone around wearing ridiculous hats, and we haven't done that for ages. So I really think ridiculous hats are going to come back in again.
Yes, I'm going out today to the San Jose Super Toy Show run by Time Tunnel Toys over at the Santa Clara County Fairgrounds, and I need some advice as to which hat to wear. So,
wear your most opulent hat.
well, I need some help here. Do I go with the top hat so that people can identify me in crowds? Or do I go with the fez from Fezorama that reminds everyone that they should buy the toy because they're eventually going to die? Or I've added 2 new hats into the rotation.
So you did get new hats.
I got new hats. Yep. I got them from the Historical Emporium in San Jose, which is a mail order only store. But if you're in San Jose and you make an appointment, you can go in and they'll help set up your costume. So, for example, if you go to something like the Dickens Fair in San Francisco every year and need a Victorian England costume, they can set you up. They also have
Frankly, I moved here to get away from Victorian England, but all right.
No. You should go. It's. I think you would make a great street urchin. But I went because I was in desperate need of a bowler because I've been rewatching the Avengers. So I got myself. It's not the bowler that I almost bought years ago that belonged to Patrick McNee, but it's something I can wear while I'm watching the Avengers.
You know, when I was 7 and I used to watch Animaniacs, I used to set up my Buster and Babs toys to watch it with me.
Yeah. Well, I need a bowler. I need to channel Patrick McNee. But the one that I got, which I might even be happier than the bowler, is this, which is a Victorian smoking hat.
Ooh, wow. Wait, so Victorian smoking hats also look like fezzes?
Well, they're derived from
They're
the
cloth.
fez.
They're more made of cloth. But
Yeah.
I think that does look good. Yeah, that's the best look. You know, then I want to make a little video with Dale telling Dale's classic stories. Like the story about the time you could have bought Patrick McNee's bowler hats.
Yeah, I have to wear the bowler for that one. The problem is that none of these hat sizes are standardized. So,
I think the smoking hat's the thing.
But I think I'm going to wear the bowler when I watch the Avengers. But everyone seems to like the top hat more. So
I like the smoking hat.
Well, I don't think that's appropriate for the San Jose Toy Show.
But the smoking hat's a hat you can wear indoors. You shouldn't really wear a top hat indoors. Like maybe if it was some sort of expo or something, it'd be all right. But
well, you could argue it's a toy expo.
Yeah, you could wear the top hat at the expo. That would be fine.
I also had to print some more Zardoz heads. I've given out my last Zardoz head.
What a problem to run into.
Well, I was telling him he needs to put like a QR code or something on them. Like when people can download a copy of the DVD or they can watch Zardoz. You should put a code on it so they can watch Zardoz on your website. Then you'll get sued by John Borman.
I don't think John Borman's going to sue me over that.
He might sue you over making his movie unavailable.
Yeah, buying up all the copies of Zardoz. Take them off the market.
I actually suspect that I bought every available copy of Zardoz in Tucson, Arizona.
Yeah, they probably only printed, how many of those do they print? Not many.
12. Oh.
Yeah, half hour to shade this. That's pretty good. Usually I've been finishing this art like early, and then I just kind of sit here for a little bit, but
Yeah, I do. I sort of sit around at the beginning, and then I panic at the end. You get going right away.
Well, I've decided that I want to be in the New Yorker, so I look
But
at
has
the.
the New Yorker decided it wants to have you in it? Is more the question.
Well, I'll just keep submitting cartoons that have the same punchline, which is Christ, what an asshole. Well, you guys know that
surely it'll
is,
work sometime.
Yes.
you know that is the universal New Yorker caption, right?
yeah.
Okay.
What do you mean? Like they have
You
a
can use
set
it on any
universal?
cartoon, and it will be a successful caption.
But if you
I
take
see.
any New Yorker cartoon and replace the caption with "Christ, what an asshole," it works. So that's an old New Yorker gag.
I thought it was how about never? Does never work for you?
No,
Isn't that one of them?
no,
What do you
it's
mean no?
Christ,
That is one of them.
Christ, what
There's
an
several.
asshole.
Uh,
But I'm tired of friends of mine being in the New Yorker than I'm not.
Well, ask Shannon Wheeler. I'm sure he has advice. You
I
know,
don't
he's
want
been
to.
in the New Yorker a lot.
yeah.
Yeah, that's why I feel bad. He's not going to help me.
Uh,
Actually, he would. He's actually a very nice guy.
yeah, he's like actually really nice, and
Yeah.
like would be like, oh, you want to be in the New Yorker? Sure. Here's the steps. Here's the person to contact. This is my editor.
Well, I think the rule that was put out by Bob Mankoff, former editor of New Yorker and writer of the foreword to Phil Witt's book. He suggests that you submit in batches of 10.
Yeah.
And he says batches of 10 is the best way to work as a cartoonist.
Okay.
And he wrote a whole essay about that, which I sort of skimmed through, but generally agreed with.
What was the name of that book that Witt did? Funny Stuff?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I want to be in the New Yorker. I want a book like that.
I have some good news for you then.
Ooh.
Your name is on a book that will be released, available for purchase on March 7th. This book.
Would that be
This
the book of
book?
Philo?
The first book of Philo has both Chuck Whelan and Dale Sipperly art in it, as well as my art in it. And I finally finished laying it out. I got all of my little nudges and stuff finished, and all of my little typos fixed that I could find. And I believe it's done. I hope.
Woo!
And yeah, and so I submitted it. I had to take off my spine because apparently it's too thin for that. But that's okay.
Well done. That's a lot of
Yay.
work.
Yeah, so you do have like starting March 7th, you'll be able to search your name on Amazon, and that book will pop up because your name is searchable.
That is not the first book I have ever been in, though.
I'm not saying it's the first book you've ever been in. I'm just saying that your name is going to be in a book that's going to be on the 7th that like you're going to be published in.
I'm in a couple books as examples of very bad novel writing.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
very impressed. It's been decades since I've tried to do that, but that was my claim to fame.
You're a novelist?
Years ago at San Jose State, Scott Rice in the English department would have the Bueller-Lytton contest, where you would have to write a terrible opening line for a novel. And while I never won, I'm in a couple of collections of the contest. I wrote a few stinkers.
Why are they stinkers?
Because that was the whole point of the book, which was to write something just absolutely awful and terrible.
Who was going to read this?
It was for bragging rights. You would win the contest, and back in the day, you would actually win a word processor. This is what word processors.
Win the word processor.
This is how old it was. But it was a fun contest to be part of, especially when he would have events and read the entries out loud, because some of them were really, really bad.
I miss the days of word processors. Things were simpler back then.
Yeah.
Now it's all gone to hell. All right.
Charles, have you ever used a word processor?
Like, what is? I don't even know what you mean by that.
Have you ever used a typewriter?
No.
Well, wait, no. We went to this antique store one time, and there was a typewriter with a piece of paper on it, and the sound was quite little. And you typed out cartoonnetwork.com.
So I guess I have used a typewriter.
Yeah, and then you wanted to get the typewriter, but it was several $100s. So I'll just get you a laptop.
You need a typewriter, man.
Not a bad deal.
Michael's was actually selling typewriters, like new typewriters, a couple of years ago, and I wanted one. They were only like $200, but I wasn't able to get one. Like, I just wanted one. I just wanted one to have it.
Yeah, I used to like playing on the one that we had. I mean, we had one in the house, like an old typewriter that my mum would use to type letters and things. And I would have a go. I'd write stories and things on it.
Well, I have some art books that I've been working on, like the Beautiful Book and stuff. And I was thinking about actually setting it in the typewriter and then typing in the sketchbook, and like having type in the sketchbook and stuff. But again, I just never picked it up. It just was always out of my reach.
Well, okay, when I was at the San Francisco Underground Comic Festival last year, there was some people there like selling like little kind of poetry journals that was like all hand typed up and stuff like that. But to be honest, they were selling these things for like 2 or 3 times the price that people were selling comics for. To me, like, comics way harder work than typing up some poetry. I don't know, but because they're all like literary poetry, they seem to think that it was even more valuable. All right, maybe that's just me being decent. But I'm against the status quo as far as that's concerned. I mean, all right, generally you go into a shop, a comic book costs you more.
Yeah.
They cost more to be printed. So like comics get the raw end of the deal both ways.
I don't, it depends on the labor that was put into it. If they are hand typing up each one and each one is individually made by the person,
No, I
then
don't.
that's
It
that's
wasn't
like
that.
that's like a zine, that
Well,
that's
maybe it
like,
was that. I don't know. Maybe it was that.
yeah, yeah. And so then I can see why it would cost so much if it's like a handmade book, right?
Yeah.
Versus, a comic that's printed off of a press.
All right. I
Yeah.
didn't think it was, but you could be right about that.
Yeah. So very quick to judge. Very quick to judge.
There's all that Judge Dredd. It made me very judgmental.
I'm just saying.
I am quick to judge. Yeah, I wouldn't be a good judge. I did not go into the legal profession. I don't think I've got the temperament to be a judge. I'm not. I'm also not a judge of
You
competition.
just look guilty.
I
That's
don't-
what
I
you
don't-
would
I've
be
never
like
judged.
as a judge. You just look
It's like-
guilty. Get out of my courtroom.
Probably, I would. I'm quick to judge. I'm also. I think I'm someone whose mind can be changed quite easily if by good arguments.
Yeah. But it has to be like a legally sound argument, not just an emotionally like compelling argument,
No. Well, no. I mean, no. I think emotional arguments are more important than legal argument.
And that's why you're not a judge.
That's why I'm not a judge. Yes.
Yes.
It's very complicated, all this crime and punishment business.
Yes. Can't believe you guys don't know who Freakazoid is.
I know who Freakazoid is. Give me a break.
I wasn't really watching cartoons at that point. You were saying this was in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Eat the Cat, I get that, like, no one understands. But Freakazoid won an Emmy. So it's like, it was on some people's radar.
Who pays attention to awards like that for animation?
I do.
Okay. No.
Freakazoids do.
Yeah.
But clearly the show found its target audience in Amber.
Yes, it did. And that's nothing that should be, frowned upon.
No.
It did. I like love this show. And you have to understand that like they tried to kill the show. They moved its time slot so many times because they had no idea whose audience, like who the audience was, who it was for. They had no idea how to market it. They had no idea what demographics were watching it. And then when they started getting the Nielsen ratings back and they found out that like it was popular with like college students and kids and teenagers and like adults and stuff like that, they're like, what the hell do we throw in the marketing? Right. And so then they moved it to Sunday. And that was for the second season. And it lost a lot of its viewership when that happened. And then it got killed. And but I followed it to Sunday. I was one of the people who followed it to Sunday.
I mean, yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, but it was an amazing show. It was very well written, and it had a really good voice cast, and it just had it was just funny, right? It was doing stuff like holding up a mirror to superhero genre in a funny way before a lot of comic books did that. Like you had Mad Men doing it in the comics, and you had like the Tick doing it in the comics, but Freakazoid and the Tick were contemporary cartoons of each other. And so
Well,
like
I did watch the Tick.
Yeah, well, like the Tick, I want to say came after Freakazoid, and it's like Freakazoid like paved the way for the Tick. It was, yeah, it was cool. It was a good show.
I like the Tick.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wait. Which Tick? The animated Tick?
The animated Tick.
The
The
comic
cartoon.
book Tick, or the
I have not seen
live action
the
Tick,
comic book
or
or the
second
first live action.
Tick?
I've not seen
I
the
am.
comic book or the first live action one. I like the cartoon, like the 90s cartoon, and
I'm talking about the 90s cartoon.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
I like that one, and I also
Yeah.
like the new Amazon Prime one. It's pretty
The
good.
best Tick
That's good. I should look that
was
up.
the first live action one. The
I haven't
cast
seen it.
could not be.
Really?
Oh my God! The first live action one. Was,
Yeah, I like the first
With
live action
Patrick
one.
Warburton.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
it was
was
so
perfect.
good.
He was perfect as the Tick. Yeah, he was
Just
great.
go buy the DVD set. It's a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Captain Liberty is. They couldn't use all the characters, so
Yeah, they couldn't call it.
they didn't have
American
Defleeter
Made.
Mouse.
Oh yeah.
So they
I'm listening.
changed
Yeah,
him to
American Made. I love American
Batmanuel, who is
Batman
far better. And then they had they couldn't have American Made, so they had Captain Liberty, and she was the actress who played Captain Liberty was amazing. Oh, God,
Yeah, that was a shame they couldn't have American Made. And Tung Tung, I like Tung Tung in the animated series.
I did like Chippendale Chairface.
Oh, I liked him too. Chairface was funny.
But yeah,
Like, he wanted to write his name into the moon or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so people would always remember him.
Oh, that was the Judge Dredd thing.
But then the Tick stopped him halfway through, so it was
so
like
it only said cha.
Yeah,
it only said cha.
And like throughout that was in the first like few episodes. So
Yeah.
like for the entire rest of the series, it just said cha on the moon.
Let's see. Let's check in on Dale's piece.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, I could see you going New Yorker route.
That doesn't work. You're deliberately trying to find ones where it doesn't work.
Well, you know, if you look at a lot of the current New Yorker cartoons, it's very minimalist, and they're not really putting a huge amount of work into the washes for rendering. And I think that's relatively an easy. I don't think it's an easy style to emulate, but probably not an easy style to master. But I'd be happy just making a lot of rejected New Yorker cartoons.
Easy to emulate, a lifetime to master.
Yeah. But I also found a new pen to futz around with in Clip Studio Paint. It is called the... let's find it. It is called the Rough Pen. And I like the Rough Pen much better than the G Pen that I've been using.
Was this one of the ones that I gave you?
No, this is actually stock.
Okay.
I don't think I think I took out all the. I think I took out all or most of the pens that I added to Clip Studio Paint because it was really slowing it down. But no, I think I'm going to fiddle around with the New Yorker style for a while just so the next time I talk to a New Yorker cartoonist, I have something to show him. Something that they can pretend, oh yeah, keep going, Dale, you're doing great. No.
There's a lot of women cartoonists in New York too, like Roz Chast.
Actually, Roz Chast is pretty freaking amazing.
Yeah.
She has a book on cartooning, but I got it, but I never read it. It's in my stack of books to read. But she just, all of her anxieties and neuroses, she just puts into New Yorker cartoons.
That's how you do it, right?
Well, that's what Lynn Johnson said. She was lecturing at the Schulz Museum, and she said when she was a little kid, she got a hold of this paper, I guess from her parents, that already had little squares printed on it. And she just used that to do comic strips as a child. And Kathy, Gus's wife, who did Kathy, that was her mom convinced her to publish the drawings that were in her diary. That's how that strip was created.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I should be drawing
better.
my neuroses.
I mean, Schultz he did a cartoon called Charlie Brown. I mean, it's like his name's Charlie.
Yes. He he did a strip called Peanuts. I forget what he wanted to call it though.
Little Folks.
Yeah, Little Folks. The syndicate.
That wasn't a good name. That was
the syndicate forced him to choose Peanuts.
Yeah. You want to eat a bag of peanuts?
Yeah.
I think I'm done.
All right.
There's no like they're definitely not sized right compared to each other. Otherwise, Cyclops would be huge.
Okay, so it's Saturday morning cartoons. All that talk. I was getting distracted with all that talk of Freakazoid, but yes, you've done all Saturday morning cartoons, including the Smurfs.
Yeah, the Smurfs are Saturday morning for me. I remember watching them on Saturday mornings, and then I got Ben 10 in there. I have
where's Ben 10?
Ben 10's in the front.
Ben 10 at the front. Okay.
Yeah. And then I got Scrooge McDuck there from DuckTales. I have Dot from Animaniacs. I have Garfield. I got X-Men. And then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I mean, I guess I got 15 minutes. I guess I could fit one more, maybe.
Now, Sam really liked that X-Men that they did in the 1980s style or whatever.
Oh, what the X-Men?
Well,
97?
I heard it was coming out, and then I was like, "Ooh, this is a good reason to go and watch all the old X-Men cartoons."
Yeah.
So I did that, and then I watched the new one, and I was like, "Wow, this is just as good, probably even better."
So an anonymous user on YouTube is saying, "This some bogus stream or something. One of you do a peace sign for the camera."
It's a real stream.
It's a real stream, dude. Yeah, we're really here. But yeah.
No, we're AI generated. This is the best that AI could come up with.
Yeah. Get with the program. We're real.
No. Yeah, we're really here. But yeah, no, it's I got Scrooge McDuck there because DuckTales was like adventure for me growing up. I watched it. It was amazing. And even though Dale didn't like it, I liked Animaniacs and Tiny Toon Adventures. I thought they were written very well. And I liked the character development. I liked Wacky Land in Tiny Toon Adventures. I felt like they got to explore it a lot more than they ever did in the original Looney Tunes cartoons.
Well, he says that's cool. He's going to chill and watch as we draw, but the show's about to end. We have this issue where where the show's about to
just as we're ending.
Start watching like when around the end of the show.
Oh, we got 12 minutes. We got 12 minutes.
You can chill for 12 minutes.
Chill and watch us draw.
Yeah, we're here every Saturday morning, and we start from 10 and we go till noon.
Yeah, let me.
We talk about today we talked about Judge Dredd and what it's called again, Freakazoid, which was a popular animated show in the 1990s. Well,
it was popular, even though no one remembers it. It was amazing. I loved it. It was awesome.
So popular. Actually, it was. I do remember there were toys. I think there were action figures.
Yes, there were toys. There was action figures. It had there was like Burger King, or it was either Burger King or McDonald's had like a toy line that came through with like their kids' meal. one time that had like Freakazoid toys, and I mean it was paired with Animaniacs toys, and like I think it was like also like Batman animated series toys and stuff like that. It was like a bunch of WB product toys, but like Freakazoid was one of them, and I always wanted that one, but I never got it.
WB.
And yes, WB Warner Brothers, yes. But yeah, Freakazoid was an amazing show. Paul Rugg, I want to say, was the voice actor for Freakazoid.
Not to be confused with Paul Rudd.
No, not with these. Yeah, Paul Rugg, Rugg, and yeah, he's an American screenwriter, producer, voice actor, and puppeteer. He is best known for his starring role in the shows like Freakazoid, Pig, Goat, Banana Cricket, and Earth to Ned. And so he's a funny dude. And what's like funny is like he's just a silly guy. And when he did his auditions for the character, because they didn't know who was going to play Freakazoid, he went off on this like random tangent, and they ended up using his audition tape on an episode because they had no like let's see, I'm born in the 90s, so I'm not too young, but you guys seem like 70s, 80s, so got all the earlier shit like Animaniacs and Herculoids. Haha, well,
Yeah.
except for Dale.
Dude, I'm like,
we're older.
I'm like reruns of fucking Bugs Bunny. Oh, sorry, language. Bugs Bunny, and we were watching old Fleischer cartoons.
Hey! You had Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Yeah, we had Rocky Bullwinkle,
Yeah.
Tennessee Tuxedo.
You had Flintstones.
Oh, I worship the Stones.
And the Jetsons. You had some cool stuff.
My life goal was to be Barney Rubble.
You had Howdy
I think you
Doody.
largely succeeded.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah, you had Howdy Doody.
That's what I need. I need a water buffalo hat.
What, a Howdy Doody hat?
No, a water buffalo hat from the Flintstones.
The Ancient Order of Water Buffalo.
Yeah,
the Ancient Order of Water Buffaloes. Yes. But yeah, like he's just Paul Rugg was just a cool guy. Anyway, yeah, he has a huge Wikipedia article you can check out if you want, with like his filmography and stuff. He worked on Buzz Lightyear, Star Command, Dave the Barbarian, Scooby-Doo Mysteries, DreamWorks Dragons, The Fairly Odd Parents. He played the Grim Reaper. Teen Titans Go, Earth to Ned, Oddballs, Animaniacs, the Mr. Peabody and Sherman Show. Yeah, you know, he just Pinky and the Brain. He's just got a variety of stuff. And then he's done crew work for like Kung Fu Panda, Legends of Awesomeness, The Looney Tunes Show, Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures, Dave the Barbarian again, Pinky and the Brain, Tiny Toon Adventures. He's just a cool guy. I like his stuff. I like his writing. I like how wacky he is in what he does. And so
they do have a Loyal Order of Water Buffaloes hat on Amazon.
Of course they do.
Yeah, I'm seriously thinking about getting this.
That looks kind of cheap. I would kind of get one commissioned, you know, like by a puppet maker or something.
I do know a puppet maker.
See,
yeah.
I know several puppet makers.
I have to finish the gorilla suit before I work on anything like that.
Yeah. So how is your gorilla suit coming?
I was starting to smooth the clay on the mask sculpt to start doing the wrinkles. And Chris Wallace, the special effects, master, he worked on Gremlins. He said that my eye holes were too deep, so I had to resculpt the eyes and the brow. And that means I'll have to push the ears back. So I'm behind. Hopefully on Monday, or is it Wednesday? I think I don't have class on Monday. I'll smooth everything out and start working on the wrinkles.
Yeah,
But it's gonna be a long
I'm
time.
hanging drywall on Monday. Anonymous user says, "Do you guys do this for work or fun? You can do some really cool stuff with your art with a bit of code." This is kind of a for fun thing that we do, but we're all like working artists, and
No, I'm not.
I have fun with my art and stuff like that, but like code's not for me. You
I'm
know,
not a working artist.
Yeah, what are we talking about? Code. We don't like AI.
Yeah, code's not for me. I tried to teach myself C sharp on several occasions. I tried to teach myself Python, and I got as far as like some simple programs, but like I wasn't able to make what I wanted to make, you know. And I'm
No.
sure I'm just in that like that valley of understanding before I come out on the other end where it's like it starts making sense to me of how the parts fit together. Um, you know, I'm sure I'm just in that valley and I need to crawl across that valley. Like I was visiting
No,
GitHub
it's a
and
distraction. Like there's
like
only so much time in the world.
yeah, you know, and I draw and I work and I write and I just finished putting a book together and you know, I do so many things and I have Philo on Tuesday again, which I will again advertise because we're towards the end of the show. We got 4 minutes left. So Tuesday I got Philo. I got guest artist Dirk Teedy as my artist. He's an animator, a filmmaker, and a comic artist, teacher, musician, who is going to be joining me on Tuesday for Philo, and that is my live drawn improv jam comic. And so that's going to be at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the 4th. And so I will take that off the screen now. But yeah, and so we got 4 minutes left, boys.
Okay.
I am not a working artist. I am retired.
You can be retired and still
Very nice.
like work as an artist.
What data did he delete?
Well, that's I guess the burning house castle in the background there.
Oh, okay.
I think Christ, what an asshole would have been a better, better word.
It might have worked. But,
that's what we should rename the show.
He's going around deleting everybody's data.
Christ, what an asshole.
Part of the Doge. Yeah. He's part of the new Doge Department of Government.
No. Hey, we are gonna hit the bell. Dude, I have a Buddhist bell myself. Do I have to grab my Buddhist bell? Yeah. Oh. Okay. Well, we'll see. I'm a coder. But yeah, like you said, only so much time. So usually coders and artists go hand in hand. Was nice meeting you all.
Nice
yeah,
you.
I mean, it's
no, I go down that coding rabbit hole as well. Sometimes.
Yeah, like someday I'm gonna have to join forces with the coder to make the game that I've designed that works great on paper.
Yeah, but it's have to get someone.
Well, no, it works on paper.
Coding, that's probably a good idea.
My paper prototype works great, but yeah, someday I will have to join forces with the coder. But for now, I am so busy, and you know, programmers can do so much, and it's just a talent I myself don't possess at this time, and it's not a bad talent. It's just one I don't possess. And again, I tried to teach myself C#. I tried to teach myself Python. I tried to teach myself like many years ago, like back in the 90s, I used to be able to code in Q Basic, but that was like forever ago. We got 2 minutes left, by the way. Let's check in on Dale's drawing. And then I've developed an MMORPG entirely by myself. Took 8 years. Good for you.
Wow.
Yeah, good for you. Did you use Game Maker for that? Did you use Unity or did you use Unreal Engine for that? Like, I'm curious what you built it in. Because Game Maker, I'm thinking about like picking up. I was teaching myself C# for Unity, but after they tried to pull that, like, we're going to charge you for each install, stuff, I was like, I don't know if I want to teach myself Unity anymore. And for my game that I want to make, I don't think I need the 3D aspects that Unity provides. I think I'm okay with the 2D aspects of Game Maker. But yeah, I'm probably talking beyond the two other guys on the show right now, but not our producer. Charles knows about games. He kind of knows what I'm talking about.
I know what Unity is.
You know what Unity is? Do you know what Unreal Engine 6 is?
Yes.
Wait, there's a 6 already?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like they're doing it too fast.
Unity 2017 ray tracing support. Oh, and C#. Good for you. I've also been studying ML agents since its release in 2017 as well. Neural networking is legit fun as hell to mess around with. Very cool. Yeah, Game Maker's Toolkit on YouTube I watch all the time, and I know he built his games in Unity using C# too. And like he got his Magnets game, his Mind Over Magnet game released, and then he made his like Flappy Bird game tutorial. And I haven't run through the tutorial yet, but the game I want to make is like chess meets tic-tac-toe, having like a love child.
Well,
it's hard to explain. I actually started developing in Game Maker 5.1. Oh, good for you.
So hopefully some hacker will put this into their virus, and then hopefully it won't be used for any evil purposes like that.
All right. Let's check in on Dale's art. Christ, what an asshole!
Oh, you get it, and he's got another one. What is that? It's a little small. Dale, are you able to zoom in?
Yeah, it's a cat sitting in his office. Going, Christ, what an asshole. Yeah, it is a very kind of New York-y style.
Yeah, I think that it might be easier for me to just lie to people and say that I've been in the New Yorker, because no one's going to check.
Could you like put a notice in the births and deaths column or something, and then you can say, "I've been in the New Yorker." I'm a cartoonist that's been in the New Yorker. Yeah.
But no, I want to explore just this New Yorker-y wash style because it's relatively fast.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'm a fan of the go around the plant you did up here. That seems kind of lazy.
Oh, God. Oh, well, New Yorker. Well, hang on.
Let's see. If you ever want to check out my projects, don't read the name on stream if you don't want. But the name Bitcoin Wars is my biggest project video on the site. Bitcoin Wars.
I'm gonna leave it. I like it.
Okay.
Bitcoin Wars. That sounds good.
Yeah, that's the game that he finished. Yeah, I'll check it out. If it's on Steam, I'll check it out. Okay, so we are 3 minutes over.
Yeah, I need breakfast.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Another wonderful show. I guess I'll put the old theme tune on here. Where is that gone? All right. Yeah, thanks, guests and people, for tuning in. We'll be back next Saturday, hopefully with Kurt Burdick. He was supposed to be here today, but he's very busy, and he's just got his new book, so that will all be exciting. All right, so we'll see you then. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in.
Here's a theme song for Chuck Whelan Showy. He asked me to write one, but I stole from David Bowie. Here's a theme song. Chuck Whelan is the best. We have lots of hosts, but